The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's webinar in our webinar series on environmental science careers in Germany and how to pursue a bachelor's degree and master's degrees in Germany at the various universities. With us today, well, first of all, my name is Hanni Geist. I will be your moderator today. I work in the San Francisco DAAD office. You can reach me at dadsf@ed.org if you have any general questions. With us today is Professor Fröhr, who is a professor at the University of Koblen-Landau. And I think now we have our colleagues also joining us from Hochschule Trier. Professor Kamlot, you see here in our webcam, and also Julia Mertens, who advises students. We will turn the cameras on later on as well for the Q&A. For now, I will leave my camera off, and Professor Fröhr also will leave his camera off, I believe. So before we start with the presentations, let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. Today's agenda. I will just briefly talk about DAAD and the scholarships that are available to you. And then we will have the first presentation from the University of Koblen-Landau on environmental science studies at the university. And after that, we will have the Umwelt-Campus book, and now who will talk about their programs that they offer. And at the very end, we have a Q&A. And with that, I would invite you to type in all your questions in the question box. You can download handouts from both universities in your GoToWebinar handout. In the handout section, simply click on it, and then there's a PDF that you can simply download. But you will also be able to see this presentation and also download the presentations later on. I will send out a follow-up email with the links. Again, please feel free to send in your questions as they come up. I will collect them, and then we'll take them to the Q&A. And so I already mentioned I will share the slides with you, also the other presentation slides. This webinar is recorded, so I will upload this presentation later and upload this to our webinar page as well. And of course, you will be able to contact the presenters afterwards. So before we jump into the presentations of the universities, I just briefly wanted to tell you what DAAD does and what we offer for you, and specifically in terms of scholarships. So DAAD is the German National Agency for International Academic Cooperation and Exchange. We're an independent association of German universities, and we basically represent German higher education and research abroad. So if you have questions about DAAD, feel free to get in touch with us. I'm in the San Francisco office and part of DAAD USA. So I'm able to, and my colleagues in the US are able to answer any questions for those who join us from the US. If you join us from any other country, please feel free to get in touch with one of our offices locally. We have 70 offices worldwide, and each country's office offers specific information for that country. And now just two scholarships that I want to mention that's available to students from the US or Canada. It's the study scholarship for students who want to pursue full masters in Germany in any degree program. The degree program can be in English, and this is available also to students that are currently seniors who want to continue with their education right after graduation. And the second grant I want to mention is the research grant. And this is really for students who already have a bachelor's degree or are looking for something to fill their gap year to do research. And it's also available to graduate students, PhD candidates, and postdocs to conduct research at a German university or a German research lab. You find more information on these websites. As I said, this was specifically for the DAAD, for students and researchers for the US and Canada. If you are joining us from any other country, feel free to get in touch and find information on funding on our funding-guide.de website. And so without further ado, I would like to switch over this presentation to the University Koblen-Landau to Professor Fröhr, who will be the first to briefly talk about the university, give you a little bit of an idea of what the university does and what they offer. And again, feel free to type in questions as they come up. I will collect them, and then I will ask them later on in the Q&A. Professor Fröhr, are you ready to start your presentation?
Yes, I'm ready, guys. So I already broadcast my screen. I think everybody can see it. I will turn on my my camera later. So hello, everybody. Hello to the US. Hello to all the students and interested people around the world. I have a few minutes to present to you our master programs at the University of Koblen-Landau in the field of environmental sciences and ecotoxicology. I will give you a brief overview of the city. Landau is a small but vivid student city. It's a small city, about 50,000 inhabitants in the southwest of Germany, very close to France. You have some impressions here, some pictures of the city and the landscape around. You see Landau is located in the heart of Europe, right at the border to France, and not very far away from the major cities, the major metropolis in Europe. Here you see our buildings of the Institute of Environmental Sciences that was founded in 2004 only, so it's very young, but it has evolved very quickly and dynamically into the now leading university institute in the field of environmental sciences in Germany. You see, this is a selection of some of the professors of our institute. They are very young, as you can see, and they deal with very broad issues in environmental sciences, coming from the small scale of organic chemistry, molecular ecology, moving up to the scale of whole ecosystems, or geoecology, geography, up to the landscape scale. And as you can see, that's my profession, environmental economics, the social sciences, that are also included in order to be able to study environmental sciences on the whole, or the problems of environmental sciences in the whole level. So in Landau, we offer 2 Master of Science degrees. These are 2-year degrees. One is the relatively broad environmental sciences degree, which has a lot of elective subjects as well. And one is the more specialized master in ecotoxicology, which is the science of how chemicals affect the environment in ecosystems. So one further distinction I want to mention are the 2 ways you can study environmental sciences and ecotoxicology at our university. One is the familiar resident study program, where students come to Germany, come to our university, and study all courses here at the university location in Germany. And you can see this program is a 2-year program, 4 semesters, and without going into details, you can see that it is comprised of the first semester being a compulsory part to bring everybody in line with what you need to know, all the basics in the various subjects, followed by 2nd and 3rd semester with lots of elective subjects where you can choose from about 8 different fields. You have to choose 2, and the 4th semester, the last term, is reserved entirely for the master thesis. The program in ecotoxicology is similar, also 2-year program, but much more specialized. You have less elective courses because you need to learn more fundamentals, more topics also in order to be a good ecotoxicologist. So for this resident study program, you see here in this table an overview of the costs. First of all, in Germany, there are no tuition fees for the first bachelor's or the first master's degree that you do here. This list of costs is an estimate that actual students have compiled. You see, you have also a mandatory health insurance that you have to pay. You can have a student dormitory, which costs 300 euros per month. There is a very small registration fee if you calculate it per month, and food and living, that's about 350 euros. So we estimate on average that students in Germany need for all their expenses about 760 euros that depends on your living style. So the second one is new. It's a so-called online study program where we cooperate with partner universities. Students stay in their home countries usually and at their university, with which we can have or will have already partnership agreements, and some courses will be acknowledged and other courses will be studied online. So we are preparing online modules with interactions, with personal interactions with the teachers and the other students. And then you can have at the end two master degrees, one from your home country, your home university, and our university. This is done with an open OLAT e-learning platform that offers a lot of interaction and sharing of contents and slides and so on. And as you can see here, the advantage is that you don't have to do traveling, you don't have to get visa, which is very costly. Again, no tuition fees. And there is only a small online registration fee per year of 240 euros for these two programs. So it's a good way to get a European, a German degree in environmental sciences or ecotoxicology if you are not prepared, you're not mobile, you cannot move from one country to another. Important are the application requirements. As you can see, you need to have a bachelor's degree either in environmental sciences, in geosciences, or some other natural sciences, and those disciplinary qualifications that are marked here in red. So it's in the field of biology, ecology, chemistry, mathematics, and statistics. So that's what we request, that's what we require, your fundamentals to enter this program. If you have knowledge in physics or geographic information systems or even social sciences, that might be a plus, but necessary and required is red. If you are missing one of those, then you will still be admitted, but there is a possibility that you take some courses to freshen up your knowledge. Important information are also the application deadlines. So for the coming winter term, 2018-19, you should apply by mid-June. Because of getting the visa in Germany, that's not an easy process. So we really advise you that you take some time for all these administrative affairs in order to start then on time. I will summarize the 7 reasons why you should study in Landau. We have 2 excellent degree programs for the future, because environmental problems will not go away. They will become more severe in the future. You will get prepared in solving these. We have an excellent environment in research and teaching here with very good contact and interaction, a good student and teacher ratio. We will focus on teaching you some practical experience, not only theoretical knowledge and work, but knowledge and experience that you can use directly afterwards in your jobs. Costs are very moderate in Germany in general, and especially in our region. You will have the opportunity to start your networking, because we have students around the world in Landau, Germans and international students from all continents, so you can start your network well. And then you can study in the heart of Europe, be able to get to know many places in Europe, which is also important if you want a fulfilled student life. So with this, I want to thank you very much for your attention, and I'm open for your questions, and thank you very much for being interested in our programs.
Wonderful. Thank you, Professor, for this quick overview. Again, I would like to invite you to send in your questions. We will take them to the end of this presentation. If you've already sent me some, I already compiled a list, so if I don't ask them now, don't be afraid, I will get to them. And so please type them as they come up. And now I would like to invite Professor Kamler to give an overview of the Umwelt-Campus in Birkenau.
Hello. This is Christian Kamlot from the Environmental Campus speaking. I hope everybody can hear me quite well.
Yes, it's perfect. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Yes, I tried to put it all in a nutshell and try to take into consideration the limited time we have. We have, as you can see at the picture quite here, we are a rather small campus, actually not so far from Landau University, and we are focusing on environmental issues solely. We are going to introduce you some facts and figures around our campus and, of course, the programs we offer for international students. Some thoughts on the main challenges of our time, which we have committed ourselves to here at the Environmental Campus. It's globalization, it's resource scarcity, and it's digitalization. I think you all know those issues from the newspapers every day. And for you as potential students, I think it will be of key importance as future managers to be able to cope with those problems that we have, to be holistic and to have on all those issues a holistic view, to see the trees but also the wood, to be able to understand sustainability issues, to include it into your decisions, to act in a global world, to have multicultural thinking, and to be able to understand people from all over the world and how they act and think. I think it will be your job to bring experts from different fields together to solve such problems. And at the same time, it is very important that you yourself, have quite a good skill set and have really things that you are really good at. And the main question for future students certainly is, would it be able to teach you in those things? And the answer is quite easy, because it is a clear no. We can't teach you in being able to solve, to tackle such problems, but we can help you to understand the problems. We can help you to see the problems and teach you in models, frameworks, theories, how we could solve those issues. And as said before, this is what we have committed ourselves here at this very special campus. Some facts and figures. We have approximately 2,500 students today here. The students work, research, and live at the campus. It's like an academic village that we have here. It's in the middle of Europe, but from, I'd say, a German perspective, it's in the green, because it's near a national park, a very young national park in Germany. But you are easy to go to Paris in 2.5 hours, or to Frankfurt and Munich. So it's in the heart of Europe, at the border of Germany, France, and Luxembourg. We have some 25 study programs here. Most of them are in German language, but I'm going to introduce you to the ones that are in English language only. And I think for many foreign students, a key thing is that we have no tuition fees at all here in Germany, only some €200 administration fees for a semester, which gives you access to public transport at the same time. Obviously, some like what we do. We have received a couple of relevant awards in the last couple of years. The UNESCO has awarded us more than one time. There was a big survey looking for the greenest in terms of sustainability university in Germany, which we won, obviously. We were ranked in 2016 as number 21 out of more than 500 universities as being very sustainable and green. And last year we received an excellent, in an excellence network, a sustainability award as well. So this is something that we are very proud on, and you see that we really live what we do. We try to teach sustainability and those things, and we live it at our campus at the same time, which is, by the way, Europe's first true zero-emission campus. A short view at our programs. So we have English language programs at bachelor, master, and master level, and also we have a program which is for exchange students designed. So our bachelor program with the name Sustainable Business and Technology is a interdisciplinary program that produces or educates people in the field of business and engineering, and all our programs have a kind of overarching philosophy, which is sustainability, and we try to incorporate soft skills like language and social skills in our programs as well. We have an English language master, which is International Material Flow Management, and we run a very successful exchange program with the name Principles of Sustainable Business. And my colleague Julia, she's the manager of our international programs, will introduce you the bachelor and the exchange program in a bit more detail now.
Yes, hello, this is Julia. Thank you very much, Christian, for this nice introduction of our campus. I would like to give you some facts about our bachelor program, Sustainable Business and Technology. It's a Bachelor of Engineering, the final degree to be awarded. And you should really know that the German word for industrial engineer is called Wirtschaftsingenieur, and it has a very, very good reputation worldwide. So we are very proud to offer this interesting combination of business and engineering. You need about 6 semesters in order to complete your studies. Of course, some of you may take a little bit longer, which is no problem at all. You receive a total of 180 ECTS points after completing our program, and the beginning of each course is in October, which means for the winter semester. And we are also very, very proud to offer this program tuition free. So that means that the German government here will pay for your education. I think this is very unique. The next program I would like to introduce to you is our exchange program, Principles of Sustainable Business, and we are very proud of this. It started in 2010, and we came up with the idea to offer this program for our international students because we didn't have any lectures taught in English during that time, and we wanted to be more attractive for our foreign students. And this program consists of 6 modules. They are all interdisciplinary, and you can choose between 1 or 2 semesters to spend here at the campus in this program. We also offer exciting excursions to businesses, cultural sites, and even the capital of Germany, which is Berlin. You have probably heard about this. And we've been there already 3 times, and it was very interesting for our students. We were even able to visit the German parliament and had discussions with real parliament members, and that was very interesting for our students. Courses take place in small international study groups. We have around 20 students each summer and winter semester from all around the world. And the program is fully credited with 30 ECTS points per semester. Courses run from March to July in the summer semester and from October to January in the winter semester. We also offer this program tuition free, but you have to pay a 500 euros general admission fee that also covers our excursion costs like to Berlin, and a 200 euros general admissions fee, but this also allows free rail travel here in the region. The application deadline is 1st of June for the winter semester, so I would like to encourage you to think about it and apply. You have more than 3 weeks left. And the application deadline for the summer semester is 1st of November. So please feel free to apply to this program. It's a nice chance for you to study in this exciting program. Yes, here you can see our contact details, and we would be very, very happy if you could get in touch with us. Please feel free to send us emails, questions. Do not hesitate to call us. We would be very happy to hear from you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for this overview. I have a few questions already that I will ask, but in the meantime, if there are more questions, feel free to type them in. I have a question for both universities, and that's in general about the international baccalaureate, if that is also accepted for admissions for a bachelor's program? And maybe Professor Fuhr, you can also comment on that, even though you just focused on master's programs. We can't, I think you're muted. Hey, Professor Kamlert, maybe you could start?
Yes, we can start. I know that this type of school certificate is recognized here in Germany, but of course it depends on the subjects that have been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So the best way you would suggest is get in touch with you to verify.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
It's been proven to be quite easy for some combinations, but we experienced also some IBs that were not suitable for Germany because of, from our German perspective, a very special subject combination.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you comment on that, Professor Fuhr?
So, Ms. Geist, did I understand the question correctly, that it was about the possibilities for bachelor studies in English in Germany, or was it?
Yeah, so the question specifically was about the IB, the International Baccalaureate, for admissions, if that's generally accepted.
Actually, what we require is the bachelor's degree in those fields that I have mentioned, environmental sciences or natural sciences. That's what we require, and then the admission process runs through an agency here in Germany. And they will check whether the degree from the respective country is valid and can be transferred, and also the grades then will be calculated in order to be comparable to the grades that we have here for the admission of our master program. So that's individually calculated by an agency, but I don't know about this IB, I must say. We focus on the bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I have a question, and that is specifically for, since we have listeners from countries other than the US and Canada where the first language is not English, and the programs that you, all of you talked about today are English programs, is that correct? The question is, what kind of English certificates are required for those individuals who are, for whom English is not the first language? Maybe Professor Fuhr, you can start with this question.
Okay, so we do not require any certificate. We make it up to the candidate to evaluate whether the English skills are enough. We require the equivalent of a B2 level. So it's the responsibility of the student to have enough knowledge in order to participate. So they should make sure that they have it, and otherwise they will not be able to follow. But we don't require any certificate yet. Okay.
And what about the English requirements in Birkenau? Is that a requirement?
Yes, of course. We require an IELTS test or TOEIC test or any other test that we can accept here. More information can be found on our website, but students who attended school where the medium of instruction was English do not have to hand in such a test. Of course, students from countries where the official language is English do not have to hand in an English language test, of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then that's for both. As if the programs themselves are in English, is there any German knowledge required for admission to the universities?
No, the opposite is the case. There's no German required, but we incorporate German language courses in all of our offers because we believe it is of key importance if you want to get integrated in Germany, and if you really want to start a career in Germany, then you must be able to speak German language. So if you study our bachelor's program, for instance, you will have at the end of the course of studies a level of C1. So that means you are quite well educated in German language, and it should be easy to get a job where you need also German as an everyday language.
Mm-hmm. Professor Fuhr,
yes, the same is true. Yeah. The same is true for Landau. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And I do have a specific question, and you talked about that a little bit in your presentations. So what if a student has a bachelor's degree in accounting and finances, for example, but is really interested in moving a little bit in a different field on the master's level? Would this student be able to get admission to a master's program in ecology and environmental sciences, or would the student have to get a bachelor's first in that degree to pursue a master's in that field? Professor Kamlot, maybe you can start with that question.
So our master's program, IMET, is an interdisciplinary program. So we would like it a lot if we have students there that have studied accounting and finance before, because they will have to cooperate and to collaborate together with engineers during their master's program. And this is one of our main ideas, being interdisciplinary.
Okay. But how is it in Koblen-Landau?
For our programs, it's not possible because programs of environmental sciences and ecotoxicology are focused on natural sciences. So you need to have strong basic knowledge in these fields in order to be able to follow. Otherwise, you will not be able to pass the modules. So it's good if you have some additional knowledge in finance or in business or in social sciences, but that's on the side. So you need to have one of those bachelor's degrees that I mentioned.
Okay. And then we have two more questions about the admissions process. The first would be, so you both require for the master's level a certain degree in a similar field. But then the question is also, is there a requirement for a minimum grade that is required for students to be eligible? And then the second question would be also for both of you. What is the timeline for students when they submit their application? How long should they expect they would have to wait to get notification? And I think that's in particular really relevant for those who may have to apply for a visa before they even enter the country, and also to find accommodation. Professor, would you start with that question?
Yes, so the minimum requirement is a German grade of 2.5, which I think is equivalent around 80%, you could say. Yeah? And we don't determine this grade, but depending on where you got it, from which university, which country, and you submit your application to the agency Uni Assist, they will calculate that grade, they will submit it to us, and then those people who have the minimum grade like that, they will be admitted. That process may take some time, as I said, and depending on the countries, the visa process may be longer or shorter. I think for the US, it's not very long. For other countries, it can be quite long. So we cannot directly or specifically say how long it will take to get admitted. But in the course of, let's say, end of July or August, you should know about whether you're admitted or not. But some even get it at shorter notice, but that depends on when they admit. When they apply. If they apply by 15th of June, there should be enough time to know whether you get admitted or not.
Okay, perfect. How about at the in Birkenau? How are the requirements there?
Yes, we do not have any requirements when it comes to grades. So every student or applicant who qualifies for studies in Germany will receive an admission note from our side. Students also have to hand in their application at Uni Assist, as our colleague already said. And then, of course, it depends. We have, I think, about 4 weeks usually until we can send out admission letters. So of course it also depends on the student himself, whether he hands in all the documents completely. We also have to, or Uni Assist also has to have hard copies, and I think then it takes around 4 weeks, but it's very difficult to give an estimate.
Does I no one of the attendees asked that, but I assume that maybe one of the questions someone may have listening to this later. Do your campuses provide support for international students who may need a little bit of help, for example, to apply for a visa, or if they're new to the area to find accommodation? Is that a service you provide, or where would students find that? Maybe continue with Birkenau, the Umwelt-Campus. How's it for you, for students that come?
Yeah. You're talking to Julia, who is heading the international team here, and she and her colleagues take a very personal care for our foreign students, because, as you said, it is very important to help them getting integrated, and something which we introduced years ago with quite a good success is a buddy program. So every foreign student that comes here to Birkenfeld gets a German buddy at his side, and this is from student to student, and usually the students help their mates to get integrated, and we help them with many formal issues, and very often you see friendships to arise from this relation and this collaboration.
Yes, we have something similar. Unfortunately, I'm not able to present our Welcome Center director, like the equivalent of Julia. But we have a Welcome Center for international students and scientific staff established a few years ago, and they deal with all the aspects of helping international students with the organizational issues, like where to apply for visa, how to do it, finding accommodation. As I said, we have the possibility of having 1 or even 2 semesters of international student dorms available, so that's easy to get settled here in Germany. And then you have the opportunity to find your way around in Germany. So there is help from the Welcome Center in all these issues. And then we also have something like this buddy program that the colleagues from Birkenfeld talked about, because we think that's the best way also to integrate the international students into the German world, and to make things easier, to not have separate worlds of German and international students. And that I can share the same experience, works quite well here. So there should be rarely any problems regarding the international students arriving in Germany and doing their fulfilling their organizational issues.
Wonderful. We're past the time, but if you still have a minute, I would ask you a final question, and that would be, are you in touch with your alumni? And if so, do you know where they work afterwards, especially international students? So for anyone interested in coming to your campus and pursuing a degree, where would they see themselves 5 years maybe after graduation? And Professor Föhr, can you give an example potentially?
Yeah, we are not in touch with all the alumni, but with some alumni nowadays, not so easy. But there are platforms that we're just building up via Facebook to stay in touch. But we have seen that some international students, for example, they go back to their countries, like, for example, Kazakhstan, and they had some office regarding the emissions trading scheme that they're starting in Kazakhstan. And this is one recent example that I talked about. And there are various examples where people go back to their countries and are qualified in order to find jobs in the environmental field, because in many countries those qualified people are missing. In the US, I don't know. I'm sure there are also many positions available for environmental scientists. I would have to ask one of our US students for that, but that's definitely possible, and they're asked for.
So how about the alumni from the Umwelt-Campus?
Yeah, it's very similar here. We run social media platforms that try at least to keep them together. As Mr. Föhr said, this is not always easy, and it depends, of course, on the alumni as well. But similar to Landau, we run quite a well-working network of alumni that work as, let's call them, ambassadors for our university, and they send freshmen to our university and make recommendations that works quite well. And of course, the programs are still quite young. The study semester program is the oldest, and it started 7 years ago. So this is a club that is still growing to something, but we are on a good way, I think.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for your time. I have to say, for those attendees, that all of our presenters stayed a little bit longer in the office today to talk to us. So thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. Again, if you have any questions, as the presenters also said, please don't hesitate to get in touch with either one of us. You will see the contact information in the presentations, and I will also include them in the follow-up email. Again, everyone will receive an email with a link to the recording and also to the presentations. If you haven't done so yet, download the handout here in the GoToWebinar tool. Thank you very much for joining us again, and thank you everyone who listened to us today. I hope you have a wonderful evening in Germany, and for everyone else who's a little bit closer to San Francisco, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for organizing this thing. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye.